So think about that feeling when you were just completely, utterly burned out.
Oh, yeah, like running on fumes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like you're pouring all your energy into your family, your work, your community, and you just desperately need a real spiritual reset.
right, which so many people are looking for right now.
They really are. And that's our mission for today's deep dive. We are exploring this huge growing trend of faith-based travel.
It's fascinating, honestly.
It is. Specifically, we're unpacking an event called the Grace That Sets Us Free Christian Women's Retreat.
Which is happening in Los Cabos, Mexico, right?
Yes, in July of 2026. It's hosted by an organization called Fun and Easy Health. And just to give you a roadmap of our sources today, we are pulling from a PR Log press release that announced the event, as well as the actual detailed retreat enrollment website.
Which has some really great insights.
It does, and the blueprint for our deep dive today is pretty straightforward. First, we'll look at exactly who this retreat is for, like the actual psychology of the overwhelmed woman. Then we'll explore how the organizers are totally redefining Bible study, like moving it from just head knowledge to actual heart knowledge.
That's the part that really caught my eye.
Same. And then finally, we'll break down the actual logistics and the daily rhythm of this luxury getaway.
So, starting with the who here, the organizers actually provided this really specific conversational script on the site between two hypothetical women, Sarah and Beth.
Yeah, it's meant to perfectly illustrate their target demographic, like their enrollment process in a nutshell.
Let's actually, let's play that out for a second to set the stage. I'll be Sarah.
Okay, and I'll be Beth.
So Sarah says, Beth, I have to tell you about something. I was looking at the registration for the Grace That Sets Us Free retreat in Los Cabos this July, and I kept thinking about you.
And then I'd say, oh, Sarah, Los Cabos sounds dreamy, but you know my life right now. It's just constant hustle and bustle striving. Between the kids and work, I feel like I'm just supporting everyone else and running on empty.
See that phrase right there, hustle and bustle striving.
Yeah, the running on empty part is so universally relatable. I was actually thinking about this Beth persona like a smartphone power bank.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's constantly plugging her cable into everyone else's dead batteries, her
Wrong.
kids, her job, her responsibilities, and she just keeps charging them up until she is completely at 0%.
Exactly. And when we look at the source materials, the retreat organizer, Brittany Poliska, she explicitly notes that this event is for women who spend their lives supporting others.
Which is such a massive demographic.
It really is. And the research into faith-based travel shows that when these women finally look for a getaway, they aren't just looking for, like, a standard beach vacation.
Right. They want something deeper.
Yeah, they are seeking a very specific combination of spiritual depth, relational safety, and restorative environments. They want a true spiritual reset.
Okay, but acknowledging burnout is one thing, right?
Yes.
My question is, how does a 4-day trip actually fix it? Because why not just read a book at home? Or take a long weekend and stay in your own house?
Well, it comes down to how they are approaching the actual study part of this. It's not about just sitting in your living room reading.
Yeah, let's talk about that methodology, because this isn't what I picture when I hear Bible study.
What do you normally picture?
I mean, I usually think of sitting in a hard chair in a church basement, you know.
With the fluorescent lights?
Yes, highlighting verses, taking notes. It's very intellectual. It's about accumulating information.
And this retreat is actively trying to break that mold. They talk heavily about moving from just getting information to actual lived transformation.
But wait, how do you take something ancient and intellectual like theology and make it, well, the sources use the word kinesthetic,
Yeah, kinesthetic learning.
which honestly sounds like an HR buzzword to me. How do you make a Bible study kinesthetic?
That is where the featured guest speaker comes in. They've brought in Suzanne Eller for this.
Oh, she's the best-selling author, right?
Exactly. And she hosts the More Than Small Talk and Prayer Starters podcasts. So according to the schedule, Susie leads daily 45-minute teaching sessions.
Okay, so there is a traditional teaching component.
There is, but that's just the start. The real magic, according to the sources, happens in these guided experiential sessions right after.
So what does that actually look like?
Well, instead of just taking notes on a clipboard, you're using guided discussion and journaling, but in a very specific physical space.
The ocean front.
Right. You are physically moving the truth from your head to your heart. It's kinesthetic because you are engaging your senses, the sound of the ocean, the warmth, the relaxed environment.
Ah, so your body is physically relaxed, which makes your mind more receptive.
Exactly. The theme is grace that sets us free. So they want you to not just memorize what grace means, but actually fully step into it.
I see. And they included some quotes from past participants that really back this up, didn't they?
They did. There's one from a woman named Sarah M. that perfectly captures this. She said, I didn't feel talked at. I felt safe enough to slow down.
Wow, safe enough to slow down.
Yeah.
That's huge for someone living in constant hustle.
And Melissa R. said something similar. She noted that scripture felt alive, and it wasn't pressured.
Not pressured, that's key.
Right, because true lived transformation requires a very specific environment. You can't get that deep reflection if you are rushing from activity to activity.
Which naturally brings us to the actual schedule they built for this. They call it a gentle, intentional daily rhythm.
I love that phrasing.
Me too. And looking at the logistics, they've really designed it to provide actual space to breathe.
Walk us through what a typical day looks like there.
Well, you start the morning with worship and prayer, just easing in. Then you have the teaching session with Suzanne.
Followed by those experiential sessions.
Right. And then they move into small group connection. But the best part is they have these massive protected blocks of time for personal reflection and rest.
So you aren't booked solid from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Not at all. If you want to just sit by the ocean and literally do nothing, you have the time to do it. It's unhurried.
Which is so rare for any kind of conference or retreat.
It is. But there's another detail about the logistics that I wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
They have a super strict attendance cap. They are only allowing between 15 and 40 women to attend this.
Oh, yes. That's incredibly intentional.
But from a business perspective, why cap attendance so low? I mean, you're in Los Cabos in July, you have a famous speaker. You could easily sell hundreds of tickets and make way more money.
You could, but then you'd completely destroy the product.
How so?
Because you cannot have relational safety in a massive crowd. If you put 500 women in a ballroom, you have an audience, but you don't have intimacy.
Ah, right. You can hide in a crowd of 500.
Exactly. The organizers state that the intimacy of 15 to 40 women is what preserves the spiritual depth. It creates the psychological safety required for actual vulnerability.
That makes total sense. You won't share your deep struggles with burnout if you feel like you're just a face in a sea of people.
Exactly.
So let's look at the actual investment for this. It runs from Thursday through Sunday, and they stress that it is completely all-inclusive.
Which, again, eliminates decision fatigue.
Yes. You don't have to plan anything. The pricing covers luxury oceanfront accommodations, your airport transportation, and all of your meals.
So once you land, you're just taken care of.
Completely. Now, the pricing tiers break down like this. Early registration is $2,400. Standard is $2,700. And final pricing is $3,000.
Okay, so it is a luxury investment.
It is. But they have this really interesting bring a friend incentive that ties right back into that Sarah and Beth script we started with.
Oh, right. What are the credits for that?
So if you bring one friend, you get a $100 spa gift or retreat credit, and it scales up. If you bring 5 friends, you can get up to $500 off.
That's a huge incentive.
It is. But the source text explains the philosophy behind it. They say, faith journeys are even more powerful when shared.
Oh, I see. Because if you go alone, you have this amazing transformation, but then you go home to people who don't understand what you just experienced.
Exactly. If you bring your own Beth with you, you take that relational safety back home with you. You have a built-in support system.
That is actually brilliant. So to synthesize all these takeaways, the core value proposition here is really unique.
Yeah, how would you come it up?
They are combining high-end luxury travel with a true, deep spiritual reset. It's offering women a very real chance to pause the, what did Beth call it? The hustle and bustle striving.
Yes, to pause all that noise.
And just remember their identity, right? In a physically beautiful, relationally safe environment.
Which is so powerful. So if you are listening to this right now and you felt your shoulders drop just hearing about that space to breathe, if you feel a nudge toward this kind of restorative experience, the organizers really encourage you to trust it.
Because that burnout isn't going to fix itself.
Exactly. But I want to leave you with a final thought today, something to mull over even after you stop listening.
Let's hear it.
Even if you cannot book a flight to Los Cabos right now, how can you begin to implement that gentle, intentional daily rhythm in your own chaotic life?
Oh, that's a great question.
Starting tomorrow morning, where can you carve out just 15 minutes of relational safety and space to breathe for yourself?